Have you ever worked somewhere where the rules only mattered when convenient? I work as a bartender in a government-run casino restaurant in Canada. It still surprises people that bartenders here are technically government employees, but that's how the casino operates. The entire restaurant is unionized, every position from host to dishwasher. I've bartended for decades, but I've never worked anywhere with rules this strict or this oddly structured. There are 3 full-time bartenders, me, Leo, and Mia. We handle everything that happens at the bar, from cocktails to draft lines to constant restocking. The pay is lower than any bar job I've had before, but the pension and benefits make it bearable. Meanwhile, the servers make far more money than we do. At the end of each shift, they count hundreds of dollars while we only earn what comes directly at the bar. They are required to tip us exactly 2% of their drink sales. Not 2.5%, not a little extra, just the bare minimum. And they remind us of that constantly. One night, a server flicked a dime toward me and said, "There, that makes it an even dollar. Enjoy." She walked away smiling like she'd done something generous. What makes it worse is that our collective agreement says bartenders cannot serve tables. That's strictly server territory. The servers repeat that rule often, usually when they want to avoid doing something. But they still expect us to run their food, clear their abandoned tables, refill waters, get ice, restock their stations, and handle customers they leave behind while they hang out on their phones or disappear for long smoke breaks. Some nights, Leo and I ended up covering half the restaurant floor because the servers were nowhere to be found. We went to management about it many times. Every conversation ended the same way. The servers have the floor. That's not your responsibility. If you're unhappy, file a grievance. Meanwhile, management refused to hire more bartenders because of budget constraints. So we worked short-staffed, missed breaks, and carried more than our share of the load. One night, after a long shift, the 3 of us bartenders sat down with our union representative. We asked for exact clarification. Every duty, every limitation, every technicality. If management and the servers were going to hide behind the agreement, we wanted to know exactly what was in it. When the rep finished explaining everything, it became clear that bartenders had a long list of protections and very limited responsibilities. We were not required to run food, clean tables, cover server stations, or do half the things we were pressured into doing. And there was another important detail. If bartenders took their required breaks, the bar could not operate unless management stepped in. We printed every relevant section, highlighted the key lines, laminated the pages, and placed them behind the bar. The next shift was the beginning of a new era. A server casually walked behind the bar to pour her own drinks, something they'd always done. I stopped her and pointed at the laminated sheet. "You can't be behind the bar," I said. "It's in the agreement. We'll make your drinks when we get to them." She stared at me like I'd spoken another language. From that day forward, servers had to line up and wait for drinks like everyone else. No more grabbing their own sodas, waters, or beers. If we were busy, they waited. If there were bar customers ahead of them, they waited. Some stood there tapping their feet, but the rules were the rules. Then we started taking all our breaks, our 2 15-minute breaks and our 30-minute break, every single one. When the first bartender left for break, the other 2 managed the bar. When the second left, the remaining bartender handled what they could. But once the third went on break, the bar officially paused. Service stopped completely. That meant management had to come down and run the bar themselves. Watching them work was almost surreal. They looked lost. They mixed drinks in the wrong glasses, forgot garnishes, and fumbled around trying to find basic supplies. The servers complained nonstop, but every time they tried to argue, I pointed to the laminated text. Within 2 weeks, everything in the restaurant shifted. Servers stopped abandoning guests. They stopped tossing tiny tips at us. They suddenly remembered how to handle their own sections. And the biggest surprise? Management found the budget to hire new bartenders. 2 were brought in immediately, and 2 more were scheduled for training. It turns out the agreement works both ways, once everyone actually follows it.